No animal can produce an aircraft, no matter how they try. The parrot can talk. It doesn't know what he's saying. It's just reciting. But men have the capacity of cognitive understanding. It's a dimension of life. That life is in the soul. So the life of the flesh is in the blood. The life of the soul is in the breath of the man. But that's not all the man has. After God put life in his blood, after God put life in his breath, the Bible said in Genesis 2:9 that God planted a tree in the midst of the garden, and God hid another life there for the man. And he said the life of the spirit was what God put there. If the man ate of that tree, the man would have become like God, because he was created to be in the image and in the likeness of God. But the fleshly life can't make him that way. The soulish life can't make him that way. It's the spirit life that would have made him. So when Satan saw that the process of transformation was about to be completed, this man already has the life of the blood. This man already has the life of the soul. He quickly came in and intercepted the process and taught the man rebellion. So when God told the man, you will die, he didn't stop existing. He was still there. The life of the soul was there. The life of the flesh was there. But the man could no longer interact in God's realm, because he was not created to be sustained by the life of the flesh. He was not created to be sustained by the life of the soul. If all we have is flesh and soul, we are not different from animals. But God had a superior agenda. He wanted to give us a life that makes it possible for us to enter his realm, so that when he comes into our realm, we can interact with him like family. Satan truncated it. But in John 3:16, the Bible says, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish but have everlasting life. And you are asking yourself, was I dead? You are talking to people who are breathing. That means there is a superior economy that God is bringing you into. That economy is the life that makes you operate in the God realm. This is why Jesus was speaking in John 17:3. He said, this is life eternal, that you may know him, the only true God. So when we are talking about the spirit life, we are talking about the spiritual infrastructure that makes it possible for you to walk in the supernatural, to experience the God realm, so that your life does not only end in time, but even in the God realm you have a stake there. So if any man is not walking in the supernatural, it's because he has not come into understanding of the third kind of life that he has. And if that man remains like that, in this realm he's a victim. In this realm he will be a slave. Because when you begin to go forward in this teaching, you will discover that you don't only interact with men. The soulish life would have been enough. The fleshly life would have been enough if all our interactions were with men. But unfortunately, in this world, spirits also exist here. So if we don't have the life that gives us an advantage in their realm, we'll be a slave of spirits. So the first reason why you must walk in the supernatural is because your life supports it. Imagine if you are here and you are 20 and you are still not talking. That means you have not developed the soulish life. Hope you know, even among men, you'll be disadvantaged. Imagine if you are here and you are 35 and you can't express yourself. When people gather, you will have 2 eyes, 2 ears, 1 nose, 1 head, but they will relegate you to the back because they will call you a fool. That means it's not enough to have the human body part. You must also develop the soulish life to participate with men. Now, that's the same thing that happens with people who don't participate in the spirit. When the matters of destiny are discussed, they will be relegated to the back because they don't have a stake there. This is why you must operate in the supernatural. It's not something that you are being asked whether or not. It's something that you must do because your advantage is there. Jesus said in John chapter 3:3, except a man be born again, he can't perceive the realm of God. That means there are many men that all they know is what eyes see and what ears hear. Those men are slaves. The real men are the ones that see what eyes can't see. They are the ones that hear what ear cannot hear. But there's a life that supports it. Jesus said when you are born into that realm, he said in verse 8, as the wind bloweth. He said, thou listest not from whence it cometh, or where it goeth. He says, so are they. So there are some of us that are like the wind. That's why you can't put charm for me and I'm affected. Because when I come there, the animal life will touch it, but the spirit life is like the wind. So when I match it, it can't affect me. I vaporize. That's why some of us, you can't call my name in a shrine. You are wasting your time. Because when you call me, you won't see my face. You will see fire. Because I am not only flesh. There is something else about me that is like God. I operate in a superior realm. See, when you know some things, your prayers reduce. You won't find people like us. Oh Lord, please help us. Please protect us. No, we are mightily helped of God. We are fully protected by God. Because we operate in the God class. If you touch me, you touch trouble. I'm not trying to be careful. I am the safety of this realm. He said you are the salt of the earth. He said you are the light of the world. Because when I show up, God shows up. Do you know one of the ways demons fight? They come to hear your prayer. When you pray, demons can tell if they can fight you. Because when they hear what you say, it shows them where you are operating from. I have the God life. So it is natural for me to operate in the God realm. That's why today I know that people must be healed here. It's not something that will it happen, will it not happen? It must happen. Because when the realm we represent show up, things happen. Are people not breathing here? Is it not natural to breathe? Because the natural life supports breathing. How will miracles not happen? Miracles are natural byproducts of the God realm. So if it doesn't happen, it means we are not touching the realm. And it's not something we beg for. It's something we are born into. We were born into it. It's a life that was given to us. God bettered us into that realm. So you must walk in the supernatural because you have the life of God. And that life is the life of the supernatural. Number two, why must you walk in the supernatural? You are in battle with spirits. If you think your enemies are those your neighbors that gossip you, you are not informed. Those people gossiping you are used. They are containers of demons. If you think your enemy is your boss at work, you are not well informed. The Bible said in Ephesians 6:12, it said, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. You see why your life can't be all about flesh. Oh Lord, what do we eat? Where do we pay house rent? All of those are good, but they are for babies. Because the things fighting you, they are beyond the natural realm. He said, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in heavenly places. You are fighting demonic princes. Now, if you study the demonic realm, those guys are not demons. Demons are disembodied beings. They don't have bodies, so they possess men to find expression. But when you are talking principalities and powers, you are talking fallen angels. They are princes. They don't possess men. They take over territories. So when they come to Bielsa, they are interested in the souls of men. So when they come here, they can send demons to possess people. But what they are looking for is the land. They want to create darkness over the land so that men will be their slaves. The Bible says those are the beings you are wrestling. Now imagine, how do you fight such beings if all you have is flesh? You are a slave, because those beings are already in realms beyond the flesh. He said we wrestle against principalities and powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, and against spiritual wickedness in heavenly places. This is why you must walk in the supernatural, because your advantage is not in time. He said though we walk in the flesh, 2 Corinthians 10 verse 3, he said we do not war in the flesh. You eat food in the flesh, but your battles are not in the flesh. You make friends in the flesh, your battles are not in the flesh. Though we walk in the flesh, he said we do not war after the flesh. He said the weapons of our warfare, They are not carnal. That means they are not natural weapons. They are supernatural weapons. So anybody that does not have access to the supernatural has failed and lost the battle. So when we discuss the supernatural, it's something you will see. It's good to have a pastor, a prophet, an apostle that works in the supernatural. God will use them from time to time as systems of intervention. But when we are talking the supernatural, it's not enough to have a pastor. It's not enough to have a prophet. It's not enough to have an apostle that works in the supernatural. It's something that you will walk in for yourself. Because most of the battles you will fight, you may not even be able to reach your pastor. Hope you know that as I am preaching now, my phone is off. Imagine if somebody is under attack now and is trying to reach me. For the next 2 hours, I will be preaching here. I won't touch my phone. That means if that battle should kill him in 2 hours, and I'm the only thing he knows, he's finished. Not because I don't want to help, but I'm not available. Because right now, my phone is off and I'm preaching. So everybody, in addition to have people that God sent to your life, you too must walk in the supernatural. You must know what to do to win the battles of life. This is why the supernatural is a must for you. It's not a conference for you to come and see men manifest God and say, this one is anointed, that one is anointed. No, it's a conference to come and say, I am not living here the same way. Whatever it is that God gave them, that made them walk in the supernatural, me too, I must walk in the supernatural. Because I have battles as much as they too have battles. The supernatural is a must because you have warfare day and night. And number 3, the supernatural is a must because it is the proof that you are born again. Jesus didn't say we should go out telling people that we are born again. He said they were called Christians in Antioch by those who saw them. They were not the ones that named themselves Christians. The way you know a believer is by supernatural signs. Mark 16:17, it said, these signs shall follow them that believe. In my name they shall cast out devils. So if you want to discover a believer, one of the proofs that a man is a believer is that he walks in the supernatural. So if you are here and you have never cast out demons, you have never prayed for the sick and they are healed, you have never seen any supernatural thing happen to you, everything about your life you can explain it, you are not a believer. You thought you were because you are part of a church. One of the signs that you are a believer is that the supernatural is following you as a sign. Everything you have, you know what you did to have it. You can tell how every resources that came to your life came. It's by hard work. It's by diligence. That is good quality, but it means you don't know the supernatural. Every step you have attained in life, you can explain it. You don't know the supernatural. There must be gaps in your life that you can't explain. That is a sign that a spirit is working with you. There must be a gap in your life that you can't explain. That is a sign that a divine element is operational in your life. This is the way the believers were called to live. See, there's a move today in the body of Christ where they want to make everything natural. When you talk about health, they say, see doctors. I believe in doctors. This morning, my son he woke up with high fever. They said, oh, he took some things and it's infection. I prayed for him and my wife took him to the hospital. I believe in doctors. They are a huge blessing. But if we depend on doctors to be healthy, we are finished. Because there are demons that are older than doctors. There are principalities that are older than doctors. Even in medicine today, there's what they call idiopathic medicine. There are cases they don't know the source. Like schizophrenia. If you ask them, they can't tell you what is the cause. But we know that demons are whispering to those people. Nobody is mad. They are just exposed to different frequency. When you see somebody who is mad, he's not mad. He's actually aware of another realm. So when you see a madman singing, he's hearing something. A demon is whispering to him. That one is not paracetamol. It can't help. That's why when you go to the hospital, the best the doctors can do is to sedate him. They weaken his senses so that he doesn't hear those things again. But when the senses come up, he will still hear. Because until the demons are cast out, it's not free. You see people today, they tell you, All that you have should be a product of hard work. That God does not bless people. That God's business with us is only about salvation. When you gave your heart to Christ, did you go to heaven? Some of you gave your heart to Christ here 30 years ago. So you mean God is not part of anything about your life that for the past 30 years? All he's interested in is for you to go to heaven. And God expects you to be here fulfilling his agenda. If it doesn't help you and devils are fighting you, how can you do it? So we want to weaken the supernatural. There is a move attacking the supernatural today. So they're either telling you that Christianity should be natural, Christianity should be explained intellectually, or they are telling you everybody operating the supernatural is fake. So that a day will come when you can no longer believe in the miraculous. And may God help us for that day not to come. Because the day the church loses the supernatural, the church is finished. What is fighting the church is beyond men. It's called the gates of hell. Jesus said, upon this revelation, I will build my church, and the gate of hell shall not prevail against it. So you see ministers who cannot operate in the supernatural, in order to be comfortable as intellectual people, they are attacking the supernatural move, so that you no longer question them. Why are they not operating in the supernatural? And they want to lure a generation to go in that direction. I will not be part of a Christianity that is different from the ones my fathers practiced. This Christianity of theologians, everybody carrying verses of scripture and arguing with it, I'm not part of that Christianity. There are 3 testimonies of the authentic Christianity. Number 1, sound doctrine. Number 2, character. Number 3, supernatural power. So you can't just bring intelligence and tell me that's all there is about Christianity. That's not the Christianity that Benson Idahosa practiced. That's not the Christianity that Paul the apostle practiced. That's not the Christianity that Peter practiced. When Peter prayed and taught in the temple, the Bible said as he went out, they put the sick that a shadow may touch them. And he said everybody that the shadow of Peter came upon was healed. That's the Christianity I want to practice. An internet generation where everybody is looking for popularity, and it's either they use propaganda or they use intelligence. And we have people who are demon possessed. The demon can't be cast out. You tell them you are teaching the gospel. Which gospel is that can address demons? Which gospel is that can address cancer? Which gospel is that is all about studio, clips, and theological explanation? Our generation is under attack. We must fight to reclaim the supernatural. I'm telling you, you can hear nonsense and you are nodding yourself until your wife is sick, until your son is sick, until somebody is dying in your presence. That's when you will know how helpless you are. There is no intelligence you have that is enough to contend demons. In addition to sound doctrine, there must be the demonstration of power. Paul said, when I came unto you, I did not come with excellency of speech, declaring unto you the counsel of God. He said, I choose to know nothing among you save Christ and him crucified. He said, my preaching and my teaching were not with enticing words of man's wisdom. They were the demonstration of the Spirit and power, that your faith may not be built on the wisdom of man, but on the power of God. Any Christianity that does not show the demonstration of power is the wisdom of man. And that's why when you hear all of these debates online, you see bitterness, you see pride, you see anger. You can't see the character of Christ there because it's intellectualism. Do you know how many sick people came here tonight? You think they came to hear an apostle talk to them about some verses of scriptures only? There are people who came here tonight, if God does not intervene, they may not see another week. There are people who came here tonight, they have carried affliction for many years. This is why we fight for the supernatural and we grow in it. As you do it, see, sometimes you do the same thing, you don't have the result you are looking for. You keep pressing because the testimony of scripture and the testimony of the patriarchs insist that you must function like that. Elohim Adonai. Elohim Adonai. Elohim Adonai. Elohim Adonai. Please hear me. Don't allow this conference end until you have caught passion for the supernatural. God cannot be glorified without power. A generation cannot be helped without power.